Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or as we like to say here at Shady Acres Woodshop, howdy! Today we have, I believe, Modesto Ash. This comes to us from Tuffy Marginez, and I've had it for about 3 years. And I'm pretty sure this is the same wood that Tuffy told me is called Modesto Ash. If it is, I've turned a couple of other pieces from it. It's quite remarkable in its grain and color, and we're going to have a little fun with this one. It's going to be a multi-use piece, I think. Let's find out. The piece is about 12 inches long, about 8 inches wide, about 3.5 inches high, depending on where you measure it. It is an odd shape, but that's part of its beauty, isn't it? Now you may be able to see right through there. See that? You see there's a hole right through the piece at the moment. I do kind of plan on filling that hole once I've turned a bowl. I'm going to turn a bowl right there in the middle of that top. I'll show you about that. I'm going to glue a block of wood on the bottom here, and that's what's going to hold it while we turn it. So I've got this block of wood with a woodworm screw hole in it. That's just going to screw onto my woodworm screw. I'm going to glue it on here, and that's what's going to hold it, but I'm going to glue it with hot glue. Now that's something a lot of my fellow turners have done. I've never done it. Apparently there's a lot of folks that think it won't work, and I'm kind of in that camp, even though I've seen it done quite successfully by several turners. But this is kind of a big heavy piece, and I'm really not going to be able to use tailstock support, so I'm hoping that just some hot glue around the perimeter is going to hold this piece on my lathe for turning. Here's where that hole comes out in the bottom, and my plan is to turn a bowl in the top until I get down to, I don't know how deep, within 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch of the bottom, whatever I decide at that time, and then fill the hole then. I'll take it off of the lathe. This will still be glued on there. I've waxed this so that the glue coming through here won't stick to it. So I'll take it off the lathe, fill the hole from this side, see how it works. So let me get this block of wood glued on here. I'll wait a little while. We'll get it mounted up on the lathe and get to turning. Oh, one other important part about this. Can you see that round circle there? That was already on there. I didn't put it on there. I believe Tuffy must have put it on there, and I couldn't quite figure out what it was for, because obviously it's not in the middle. Top to bottom, it's not in the middle. Side to side, it's pretty close to the middle, but not quite. So I finally figured it out. I put a 1/2 inch dowel in my vise standing upright, and I set that circle right on top of that dowel, and the piece is balanced when I do that. So Tuffy must have balanced it and marked the spot. Good job, Tuffy. So I'm going to use that for the center of my block that I'm going to glue on here. I'll show you how that's going to work. So I have my compass set to 1/2 the diameter of this block of wood, and I've got a hole here in the middle of Tuffy's hole, or a little spot here. So I'm just going to draw out that circle diameter. Now I do have the disadvantage of not having full contact here as well, and that's no one's fault but me and this piece of wood. But that might contribute to this not sticking as well as we'd like. Yeah, not a lot there. But should be enough. I'll just set this with that circle on the outside of it and apply my glue. The question is most likely going to come up, where'd you get that cool cordless glue gun, Phil? Because it's the first time I've used it on my channel, and it's probably about the second time I've used it in the 2 years that I've had it. I agree, this is pretty cool, and it's a Ryobi. Anyway, so I will get another bead or two around here. I'll give it a good 10-15 minutes to set up. We'll get it mounted on the lathe, and then we'll get to turning. Boy, this is turning into a project. Sheesh. Now here's why I can't use tailstock support. First of all, there's nothing there. I could put another block of wood out here, but the problem really is that my bowl isn't going to be very big at all. If this dips in, my bowl can't really come much further than out here, which only puts it like that. I think I measured that at about 5 inches once. I've been messing around with this piece for a long time. I've taken it out of the box, I don't know, 50 times, trying to figure out what I could do with it. And I thought I had a purpose for it that wasn't wood turning. I was going to make a bandsaw box out of it, but there really isn't enough wood here in the center. I could make a bandsaw box, but the drawers would only be that deep. That didn't work out, so I put it away, and then I take it back out, and well, maybe I could turn it this way or that way. I just decided to make a bowl. I'm a bowl turner. Let's make a bowl. Yeah, pretty good. About 530, we'll start there. I'm going to be using a 1/2 inch standard grind bowl gouge, mask and face shield on. Yeah, I can come a little bit further. I'll get a little more support in here. You know, I'm going to go sharpen it. Well, that's a bigger hole than I thought we were going to get. I'm pretty happy with that. This is going to be so pretty, all with the shellac on there. You're just not going to believe the difference. It's going to be gorgeous. There's a void down here in the bottom, so I'm actually underneath that block of wood that I've got it mounted on. And we're at about 1 inch thick now. I don't think I want to go much more than 1/2 inch thick on the bottom. I think we're real dang close to where we're going to stop. Got to find that gap under the block of wood. Well, yeah, see there? We're already 1/2 inch. I think that's good enough. I can see my block of wood right there. I don't know if you can see it. I don't think you can from your angle, but it's just right there. I don't know what I can do around this top edge up here. I'd like to round it off a smidgen. If that made any difference. See, that gives the illusion of being even bigger. Yeah, okay, we're getting there now. Boy, I'm very happy with that. That's way bigger than I thought I was going to get. Okay, I'm going to try my scraper. Probably needs a new burr on it. Probably have to raise the tool rest. Ooh-wee baby, I am tickled about it. You're going to see how cool this is. It's going to be a three-way bowl. Don't get excited, three-way bowl. Okay, I think we're done. Time for sanding. Well, I said time for sanding, but that's not quite true. I forgot I have to fill the voids in the bottom of that bowl. So you can see I pulled out the two-part dust collection system that I've been using. The first part, of course, is just the sweeping motion. You just need to sweep your hand and it activates the collector part. Some people have a remote control. Mine simply takes a sweep of the hand and it collects all that dust right up. I mean, it's a miracle. Anyway, what I'm doing here, you can see I have a coffee grinder, and this is thanks to some of my viewers over the years, actually. Different people have suggested this different times. What I'm doing is taking some of what my fancy dust collector has collected and putting it into this coffee grinder. This is pretty fancy too. Then all you gotta do is push a button and you end up with real fine dust for filling those holes. Cool, huh? So I have three tools here for my filling task. I've got my finely ground wood dust. I've got my thin CA glue, and I've got a little brass tamper, little brass rod here I'm going to use for a tamper to tamp this down in there. I'm just going to sprinkle some in here. I'm not an expert at this. I don't know much of anything. And I'm just going to try and pack that in there a little bit. And I plan to do this 2 or 3 times until I build it up in there. And then I'm going to put it back on the lathe and return it a little bit, and then we'll do some sanding. See, now I don't know, there's no reason to go clear over there and fill that. It doesn't go through to the bottom. You know, I just make art pieces. This isn't a soup bowl. You're not going to use this on your kitchen table, most likely. It's an art piece. You just set it on a table somewhere and let people go, ooh, ah. That's all it is. Oh, there. Yeah, spread it all over, Phil. Good job. I want to be sure and get it around the edges of the wood so that it actually sticks to the wood. So I won't show you all of this. You get the idea. Like I said, I'll do 2 or 3 fillings like this, and we'll just see what we come up with, because I have no idea how it's going to be. I'll bring it back here in a little bit, probably with it mounted up on the lathe, and we'll turn the excess out of there, and then we'll do some sanding. See you in a bit. I don't usually fill holes like that or cracks. I did it for 2 reasons. I did it because that one hole went all the way through the bottom, and I don't love that part. Any other filling I did for you, because people just get upset when I don't fill cracks and whatnot. I didn't fill them all, but I did a little more filling than I had intended to, so you're welcome. Now we're going to spin it up again, about 580, something like that. 5/8 inch bowl gouge, mask and face shield on. I'm just making sure I got all of the staining from the CA glue out of there. It's kind of hard to tell. Some of this looks like staining, but it's not. It's a grain of the wood. So I think I got it all. And we'll go back to the scraper here. Okay, well, now it's time for sanding. I'm going to be doing a lot of the sanding with my Sandoflex, obviously all of the bark inclusions, everything on the outside here, and I'm going to do that at 180 grit, and I'll stop there. That's as fine as I like to go on the bark. I don't want to change it. It's just going to clean it up, smooth it out, make it feel good, but it's going to look just like it still looks. When I'm done with that, I'll switch to my 2-inch disc starting at 80 grit and working up through 400 grit. I'll do the inside, and I'll show you both of those things as soon as I get my mask off. And that's just a quick sample. I'll be doing a whole lot more of that. Then with the lathe spinning forward at about 350. Well, I'll say this about filling in those holes. That sure makes this a lot easier. Otherwise it'd be catching on all of those places that were open that aren't open now. So that's going to be pretty easy peasy. I'll do that again. I'll say up through 400, and I'll bring you back here in a bit and we'll put some sanding sealer on there, I'm pretty sure. See you in a bit. Okay, you win. I like it a lot. I'm glad I filled in the holes. You really get to know a piece like this when you start sanding it. And there's a lot that I do that I don't talk about. Taking a little piece of sandpaper and sanding off sharp little points here and there. So, you know, I've touched every possible square inch of this piece, and I like it a lot. I mean, look at that grain. It's just, the grain is just beautiful, but wait till you see this bark. Wow. Then I gotta do all of these flat parts. And the bottom I'm going to do off the lathe after it's all done. I've got, this is sanding sealer, by the way. I don't know if I said that. I've got some in this can, and I've got this brush, and now we'll start on the bark. And this is always my favorite part when there's a lot of bark like this, because it just really starts to shine, I guess. And I don't mean sparkly shine, I mean look good. Creates a great contrast with the rest of the wood. And this is going to take a long while, and I'm not going to ask you to watch it all. And I must say, thank you to my fellow wood turners that suggested the hot glue, because it sure did work, didn't it? Didn't give me any trouble at all. Of course, we don't have it off of there yet. I think you're supposed to use denatured alcohol. I got to go watch maybe Gary's video or Gord's video. I think that's what they use, is denatured alcohol to soften it, and then it just pulls right off. But see how that's going to look? Woo-wee! Oh man, this is going to be a beautiful piece. So there you go. That's as much as I'm going to show you. I'll get at least 2 coats of this sanding sealer on, 2 coats of shellac, and I'll bring you back tomorrow because it's late, and we will get that bottom off of there and get that finished up. See you tomorrow. Time to remove my little block of wood here, and I got lucky today. I was on YouTube, and I couldn't remember what you use to remove this glue, soften it so that it'll pop off of here. So I thought, well, I'm gonna go watch a video by Gary or by Gord Rock, because they've recently done this very thing. I just couldn't remember the chemical that you use. So I went in there, and son of a gun, there's a new video from Gord, and I watched it, and he did a removal like I'm about to do. And he told me, along with everyone else, that you use denatured alcohol to soften hot glue. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to apply it here around the edges. I'm going to give it about 10-15 minutes to soak in, and then I'm going to pop it off of here. At least that's the idea. We'll find out if it works for me. So that's it. I'm just going to let it set here and soften up, and I'll bring you back here in a bit, and we'll try and pry it off, or whatever we have to do. I'm not sure what we have to do, but we'll do it, whatever it is. See you in a bit. Well, I can tell you, I've been working at this for a while, and I actually had to get out a wood chisel and my mallet to break this loose. And I'm just telling you all this stuff in case you ever want to try something like this. It certainly did work. That hot glue is way stronger than I would have given it credit for. So thank you to those that have gone before me. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is get the rest of this off of here. This is, I don't know how Tuffy did it, but this is quite smooth already. This cut existed when he sent me the wood. I'm just going to sand it up lightly and then get a good finish on there. And I'll bring it back and we'll both get a look. Both. I hope there's more than two. We'll all get a look at this piece, which I just love. I just love this piece. It just turned out way better than I might have guessed. So, you see what I'll be doing. I'll see you in just a little bit. Shouldn't take long. Be sure you stick around to the end of the video so you can see the before and after shots of this piece. If you'd share the video, I would totally appreciate that. Thank you so much. I love this piece. I love it. It's one of my very favorites, and I want other people to see it as well. Well, here it is. One Modesto Ash bowl in the books. Live edge bowl. I'm sorry, I'm just about speechless. I love it. It's gorgeous. I love every part of it. It looks great from any angle whatsoever. And I told you it's a three-way bowl. We'll get to that. Feels so good. It's nice and smooth. The bark is smooth. It's just a wonderful piece of wood. And it is Modesto Ash. I just went in the house and looked up the piece that I turned before that was Modesto Ash. At that time, we did not know what it was. Tuffy didn't know what it was. And I said it was fogwood found on ground. But in that video, Tuffy mentioned in the comments that he researched it and found out it's Modesto Ash. And he said, and Phil, I'm going to send you the other half of it. I believe this is the other half of that one. And like I said, I've had this for about 3 years, and that video is about 3 years old. So this must be it. Anyway, it's don't you think it's gorgeous? Please tell me you think it's gorgeous. What's not to like? Look at that bark. Look at the shapes. Look at all this. Even the bottom. Bottom's all finished up. I did sign it right here. I did not write Modesto Ash at that time. I will now. I should have done it before I started this. I will write it right after my name there. And I also dated it 2022. You see any critters in there? Any people? There's just so much to see. That's what I love about pieces like this. You know, if you turn a salad bowl, all you see is a salad bowl. You turn something like this and you see nature. Nature just reaching out, grabbing you and drawing you in. Everywhere. Nature. There's just nothing not to like. But I'm sure somebody won't like it. That's okay. I can't please everybody all the time. I don't expect everybody to like everything I do, but I expect you to like this one. Now I told you it's a three-way bowl. So here it's a bowl. That's one way. You stand it up and look at it. You can set it this way and look at it. You can even look at the back. That makes it a four-way bowl, doesn't it? There's just nothing not to like about it. Thank you, Tuffy Marginez, for sending this along for all to enjoy. Especially me. If you like this video, thumbs up please, I'd sure appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, you might consider becoming one. I put out regular videos about one a week, and I'd like to keep in touch. An easy way to subscribe is just click my picture you see there near the end of the video. Your comments are always welcome, and I love reading them. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.